This is Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerantz. We are joined by Nguyen. She is a member of the California State Senate. Lots of firsts you have seen. First Vietnamese American in the country to be elected to a state legislative Senate seat. You are the highest ranking Vietnamese American official in the United States. And you're Janet.
I know. I'm just
you're
Janet.
Janet.
I'm just Janet.
How does that make you feel?
No, it's my journey in public service has been amazing.
Right.
It's quite frank. It's an accident. This was not a career choice.
Okay.
I didn't even know what elected officials
Right.
are. I never dreamt that I would ever be in the state senate.
Right.
So to me, even to today, is when I walk into that building, the Capitol, I
Yes.
always get to look up and go, "Wow, this is really cool."
I
mean,
believe you.
you know?
I really believe that when you walk in, you see that. When you see that carpet, the Senate is green or red.
We're
You're-
red.
You're
We're
the
red.
red
We're
carpet.
red.
When
We're
you
the
see
red
that
carpet,
red
yeah.
carpet, it's just got to be remarkable to think that your family escaped Vietnam.
Yeah.
And you were part of the escape. You're not second generation.
No.
You're part of that.
Yeah.
And now you have accomplished so much. And if I may say, at a fairly young age, too.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you were the youngest Board of Supervisor member, youngest City Council member of your respective jurisdictions.
The good news, I'm not always the youngest now. I'm
Right.
actually the third youngest at the state senate side this
Right.
time. But I am under 40, the
Right.
young professionals that we like to call us up here. You're right. I mean, I came from, when we escaped Vietnam, escaping communism, because they were seeking my dad to go to re-education camp. We called it concentration camp.
Yeah, clearly.
And so when we came to this country, here you have an immigrant, spoke no English, was on welfare, on food stamps. Clothes came from the Salvation Army nonprofits, started working, cleaning house at 10.
This is you or your
this
mom?
This is me.
You were cleaning houses at 10?
Yeah, this is me.
While going to school?
While I was going to school. Got to UC Irvine, University of California, Irvine. I was working 3 jobs and going to school full time. And that's where I got, my second year is when I got the bug of politics. And it wasn't the bug of politics. It was actually, I thought this gentleman sounded important. I took a community political class that to meet my social science credit. And because I want to be an obstetrician, I want to be a medical doctor.
Okay.
And because, in my family, you have 3 career choices: doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Of course.
So I chose the
same in mine. Same in mine. Look where I am.
Yeah,
I was a lawyer though, so
okay.
yeah. So I got half a,
you
I got half a
there,
point.
You got there.
Half a point.
And so, I took the class, and he sounded important. He was a chairman of the Board of Supervisors. Did not know what that is.
Who was it?
Bill Steiner.
Sure. Okay.
And I learned after interning for him. I asked because I wanted a recommendation letter for med school. Had nothing to do with politics.
Right.
But what I learned from him is that I wanted to help people, and that's one of the reasons why I want to go into the medical field. But I learned that I want to be proactive and not reactive. No matter what we do in our life, it's governed by government, whether we like it or not. The clothes I'm wearing, the lights that's shining on us, the water we're drinking. So I want to be at the table with laws that are created for or against someone like me, whether that be a taxpayer, a homeowner, a mom, a small business owner. I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old at home.
Congrats.
Thank you. A young professional having to raise a family, living in a very expensive state.
Right. In an expensive county, Orange County.
And so, I want to be there when people say X law. Well, I would say, wait, if you do X, this is how it's going to affect this group of people.
It's very deductive, and it's good to hear that as a fairly young legislator, you're seeing it that way. Although I must say, it's not as if this is your first foray into elective office. You served, as you said, on the Board of Supervisors in Orange County, one of the largest counties in our state. And I want to get a sense from you, Senator, the differences that you feel. You go from a board of 5 to a body of 40. It's not a body of 80 like in the Assembly, but that's a big distinction.
It is. It definitely. The Board of Supervisors, it's nonpartisan.
Right.
It's about programs and implementation of programs, whether it's the state programs or federal. Very grassroots. You're always in the district. When I served there, we had all 5 county supervisors are Republicans.
Right.
You would think we get along. We don't always
Not
agree.
so much.
We don't always agree.
And one of your former colleagues, John Morlock, just came up here.
Yeah, well, actually, 2 of my colleagues are up here, so 3 of us.
Who's the
Senator Pat Bates.
Of course, Pat Bates is up here now, right?
Bates and I came in December 14.
Right.
Senator Morlock
Right.
just joined us about a month ago.
Forgot that,
In a
yes.
special election.
Right.
And so in the county, it is very different. We all have our own district. We
Right.
have 620,000 residents. Not partisan.
Right.
There are issues that are partisan.
Sure.
I always tell everybody, I don't agree with my husband for 100% of the time.
Right.
Don't expect me to agree with you 100%
Right.
of the time. And I always add to that, it's like, there's only 2 people in this world that controls this woman.
Who?
A 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Exactly. I knew you were going to say that.
I go on my knees when they
Right,
tell me to.
exactly.
And so, but, in the Senate, though, it's definitely extremely partisan.
Is it?
It is very partisan.
I feel as if, and I'm just, a neutral observer, that the Senate seems to be more collegial, whereas the Assembly is a little more raucous.
You're right in terms of how we treat each other.
Okay.
There's definitely a greater respect, and we work. A lot of time we can respectfully
Right.
disagree.
Okay.
But in terms of policy and issues, you can see, some members struggle because they have to do it. They
Right.
don't have they even if they disagree, they cannot disagree. The good news, though,
The caucus is very powerful. The Democratic caucus
It is
leadership,
very-
the Republican caucus leadership.
Yeah. Well, the Republican caucus leadership actually has been really great. I am sitting in a targeted seat. I am the
Kind
one
of,
seat.
sort of, though. I mean, it was targeted, but you won pretty handily.
I did. Good news is I won by 18%.
Just.
But it was the most expensive state
Yes, it was.
legislative race in the state's history.
The seat had been held by a Democrat, but
For
it was
16 years.
but it was a different seat also. And
And
I'm not taking away from your victory, but
No.
it was, new lines.
You're absolutely right. The lines changed quite a bit, but 60% of my Senate district was my supervisorial
Right.
district, which is a plus 12% Dem.
Right.
And almost 70%
Right.
Latino.
Wow.
And I went from 3 votes in 2007 to 74% of the vote in 2012. It means that I can get crossover votes.
I would think so.
Yeah, so
and you also, part of your district includes parts of LA County.
Yes.
Completely new territory.
That's completely new
And so
territory.
that really does say a lot that you were able to do well in both the Orange County side and the LA County side.
Yeah.
I want to get a sense what your hopes and dreams are during your terms in the California State Senate. We'll come back next time and talk about issues, but what are your hopes and dreams?
I just hope to be able to do my job. I was elected by the people. I'm their voice. Everything I do, anytime I cast a vote, I always tell my staff, how does this affect this city? How does this affect these people? How does this affect these community in my district? And I hope to honestly is give every child in this state the same opportunity that I was given 30 plus years ago. When you come from absolutely nothing, let that child run with it and become the state senator in 30 years. And that's what our Golden State has always been. And I hope to be able to do that, at least be a part of that.
I have to ask in our closing moments, I know your mother is still with us. Your mother who was on that boat, how does she feel?
It depends. I'll be honest, sometimes my family try to say, oh, I don't know her.
Nguyen's a common name.
Yeah,
It's a very
it's
common
a very
name.
common name.
Right.
Because the really cool thing is that, being the highest ranking Vietnamese American in the nation, we, by default, not only represent the Orange County part of Little Saigon, but we represent everybody else in the nation. My parents are very proud.
Right.
I'll tell you, when I first told them a year after I changed my major.
That was the devastating moment.
It was.
Sure.
When I told them I changed my major, both my parents said to me, wait a minute, we escaped the government, now you're one of them.
You'll come back?
Yeah.
Her name is Janet Nguyen, member of the California State Senate. I'm Brad Palmer. It's in Sacramento. It's Local Edition.